You want to take the Hey True Believers or do I?
Hey, how's it going, everybody? True Believers, it's me, not Ingleteen. It's RDV. I'm live. Yes, that's right. I'm live on I Love Comics. Ingleteen has been tied up and locked back in the closet where he belongs. I don't know why he's in the closet to begin with,
He's
but
England team's in the closet.
can you go
I
back in the
thought he
closet
left
once you're
that.
out?
I thought he came out when that he was with Breen in the mountains.
Uh, uh, I
That's
guess so.
that's
Maybe.
your
We don't
cue to
know.
pull up that. That's your
Huh?
cue to pull up that video.
You want me to pull up that video already, man? We just started. Fine, fine, fine. We'll just do what you want to do the whole entire time. Just because you're younger and more mobile than Breen. There.
Mom used to say that to me when I was little.
Yes, yes. It's no.
There you go,
Well,
Soka. He is no longer in the closet.
I don't know. Maybe he fell into a food coma. We don't know. Honestly, I think he's having internet problems. He doesn't know how to turn the internet on. He's getting worse. His memory. It's okay though. Hello to Soka. Good to see you here in disguise. Ethereal Dragon, Maranya, hello, and everyone else who's listening that's not commenting. Yeah, so tonight's we're trying to figure out some topics here. There's been some Gotham Knights TV show trailer dropped, which no one's really gonna watch. Maybe I don't know. I
No
say
hate
no. I know
watching.
someone. There is somebody that has watches. There's people who hate watch stuff. Speaking of hate watching, people are
No
watching.
hate watching whatsoever.
Yeah, don't do it. But the, the that's the thing though. We can say no hate watching, but there are people that generally do love these shows.
Yeah,
It's just
it's the weirdos that hate watch is why we have Velma season 2.
yeah. Apparently, according to the CBR article, that Velma season 2 is a greenlit, or at least it's not confirmed, but they're already working on it. So that being said, I know a lot of people do work on stuff before they get the green lit, and then it gets canceled. So it could be canceled, but supposedly that show has the lowest rating ever for a show. It's like a 1.7 on IMDb, and which is finally, I guess apparently Dragon Ball Evolution is now now considered better than something. Dragon Ball Evolution is at a 2 point something, 2.6 I think it is. That's on IMDb, and well, IMDb is all it's. I don't believe scores on there. I believe in watching the content myself, but supposedly Velma is really bad. Now I don't have access to HBO Max, so I'm safe from that. I will not be harmed. Velma cannot reach me or touch me. I'm good. But what I've heard about it and from others, it's not just black pills that are hating it. It's legitimate people who just do not care for that show. One, you had to race swap Shaggy and call him Norville, and then him hit on, because Velma rejected him, so he decides to hit on a girl named Scooby with an I. Yes, no Y, it's Scooby Doo as a black female. Wow.
Scooby with an eye.
Yes. How horrible of a person can you be to name someone after a dog and then have Shaggy hit on that? Are you implying that Shaggy likes Scooby Doo?
Or are you implying that black women are dogs?
Yeah, it is just outrageous that they would even do that. But then again, these are people who do not think that far ahead. They are so full of themselves. They have their heads up their ass. It is just getting the point. Man, I don't know. Hopefully, I know our society's supposed to getting worse and worse as time goes on, but hopefully it slows down a little bit just for us to be able to breathe a little bit, and to say, you know what, I'm okay with this because I'll be dead soon. That being said, Eric Breen, we hope that you jump on the channel tonight, and you're not pissed off about the football. Apparently, there was I guess last night there was a football game on last night, and LK and Eric and a few others were just not too happy with the outcome of the games. So All right. So Ahsoka's correcting me. So, she's saying that his name actually is Norville Shaggy Rogers. Really? Because
Yeah,
I've never heard.
Shaggy is his nickname.
So my
His
question.
real name is Norville Rogers.
So when did they ever use Norville in the cartoon? That's my question. In the
They
original.
never did. That's his legal name. They just call him Shaggy because of his hairstyle. And everything.
At that point, is he still Norville if he's only been referred to as Shaggy for the past like 40, 50 years?
Yeah, that's technically his legal name. Shaggy's just his nickname. It's like Englentine be calling himself Englentine while his real name
But
is
everybody knows him
whatever
as
it is.
Englentine, that's online. Nobody knows him by his real name. Well, some of us do, but
Yeah.
we never refer to him that. So at that point, can you really say that? I guess it's your legal name, but to everyone else, does it really matter? Especially the cartoon characters. If you're calling someone Shaggy for how many years, and you may drop the name Norville once or twice. See, now I don't remember his parents even being in that. No,
His parents weren't a thing until like multiple remakes, multiple reboots.
Okay, so I'm going off the original, based on the original Hanna-Barbera cartoon.
Yeah,
So
no one had their parents in those.
I didn't think so. That wasn't to pup named Scooby-Doo that they revealed parents, right?
I am not sure because I never watched them in order. I just watched them whatever was on Cartoon Network.
Okay, so early 2010s. Okay, so one of the remakes. Yeah. All right. Yeah, like I said, I'm not that up to date on the new stuff of Scooby-Doo. I'm not an expert on the original, but my personally thinking just calling him Norville to get away from calling him Shaggy, just because you think that's gonna make us think he's not Shaggy when he still wears the same. Like, if you want a different character, you want to be anything like the other character, have him dress other than the green and the brown pants. But I guess because you want us to remind us that you race swapped him, I don't know. It's the show. The show doesn't seem that funny. The trailer seems like it's just apprehensive and just downright just disgusting. I don't know. I don't know. Correct me wrong. Has anybody actually watched this filth? Because it just seems like it's one of those shows that it's made by someone who doesn't care and just wants to write their own version, and that's basically it. Like, I guess the girl who voices Velma is the girl from the Mindy Lee Project. Is that correct? All right. Hello to Mr. Angleton popping up. Hello.
Hey, what's up?
Not much. Just talking about the Velma show and reactions to that. I haven't watched the show. I'm
going to do a live viewing.
I've only seen from what people say about it, and from my own viewing the trailers and maybe some clips and stuff. Never the full thing. And I just gotta say, it's not Scooby-Doo.
No, it isn't.
It's far from it.
I saw the first 10 minutes. I kind of play jokes on Gail sometimes, so I set it up and
murder.
I turned it on, and then I left the room with a remote control.
That is attempted murder.
And she was like,
yourself.
"What the hell is?" Yeah, she hated it right away.
So if you're listening, we're talking about that as far as Scooby-Doo. They changed. Scooby is in the show.
Well, apparently she's going to be in the next. And you did hear what I said. She's going to be in the next episode.
Yeah, Scooby is a girl with an I instead of a Y. It's Norville apparently takes her out on a date or something like that, and it just seems really weird to call a woman after a dog.
Well, yeah, it's something. Obviously, when you get these far leftists, they're the most racist people on the face of the planet, and in this case, they are giving the role of the dog to the black girl in the name of equality. And
wait. So I'm gonna ask Soka, are you watching this? Because she said that's not Scooby, that's Gigi. Is her nickname Scooby then?
We'll find out in the next. All
right.
Well,
more importantly, she wants to know: did you receive his money for his goods?
Mm-hmm. Everything was got. It's right here. I got to admit, I'm afraid to pick up the boxes, but I will be getting these out probably around Thursday when all the money orders are in.
Follow-up question, Ahsoka. You said you confirmed that you're watching. Are you hate watching it, or are you just watching because you're generally curious?
No. Someone saying it's according to a person who reviewed the entire series. I think I know.
Oh,
Is this a guy who does mostly horror films? I may have seen the same dude. But yeah, I'm gonna set it up so I can watch the whole thing.
all right. So it's saying here nickname might be Scooby, but even so, it's like
Yeah.
I would never want to be
I
associated
don't.
with it.
The character that Scooby hasn't shown up yet. Like it's apparently in an upcoming episode. Like not even the next one. Like it's going to happen.
I think it's funny because with the whole Velma thing coming out, all the Scooby Doo stuff, wrestling decided to last week and decide Freddie Prinze Jr. was in there with the crowd. That guy said, I say like, oh, Freddie Prinze Jr. I've only known you because you were the supporting role to a CGI lead talking dog. You're a Scooby Dooby bitch. You're a douchebag, like he said. That. So it's funny. It's funny though that the people who were in the original movies that everybody loves. I don't know anybody who hates the movies. Even the second.
They're silly fun. So even if you think they're bad at a certain point, they're still silly and stupid fun at least.
Yeah. So Velma is probably confirmed for season 2 or are confirmed. We're not sure.
It's not going to happen. It will not happen. They're going to back out of that so fucking quick.
If they don't though, even if the lowest rating, that I gotta say, why did you get rid of all the other good shows that were on Netflix?
It's it makes you wonder where's the Batgirl movie now. If you're going to be doing this now, here's the problem. We recently discovered how shows are rated on streaming services and why they consider, okay, this one can't move forward, this one will. Mm-hmm. Even if a show like Velma, everybody wanted to watch it because we all heard how bad it was, and all these YouTubers like myself have to do the hate watch, right? It's not really a hate watch. You just are curious what the hell's going on. But the thing is if nobody finishes it, if it only gets up to a certain point, then this is going to be considered a failure. That's how they deal it. It's not whether or not people are watching those first episodes. If they're watching all the way through, that's what makes a show successful or not. So if you ever had a good show on Netflix or on Disney or HBO, the reason why it didn't get picked up is because you didn't follow through on it.
So the way I compare people curious to check this out is the same way when you see a car crash on the road, you hear a screech, you want to go look. Your first instinct to go look, and then you just can't stop watching because you're like, okay, is something good gonna come out of this? Is a person gonna live? That's what I look at some of these train wreck shows. It's like we're humans.
We're watching these drunk streams.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch it because I made a bet with you and we are far behind. I made a miscalculation on that, Mark, and
that's okay. That's why I did the descriptions for this. Hopefully, this gets you back up there.
Oh no, this is on a whole different channel.
Oh,
yeah. I can't include the views on this channel. This one will kill you. This I may be shadow banned for an 18,000 sub channel, but I'm not shadow banned for a 200 sub channel.
I don't know, but
I'm doing quite well for that. So yeah.
Curious though, what do you think of my thumbnail? Do you think it's too clickbaity, or do you think it's actually?
Love it. Love that thumbnail. Great thumbnail. The little wordy, but no, it's good thumbnail.
Sometimes I want the main topics we're going to talk about right on there. That's it, because I know we're going to go off subject, especially with you here now.
Well, okay, so looking at it, you've got a really nice, good central image, and that's the Velma is very hot right now. And then you've got up in the corner a little bit more about the Velma show, which is hot right now. And then the next thing that everybody's lining up to hate is Gotham Knights. I haven't seen the trailer yet.
Yeah. I actually was going to do it tonight in here, share it a little bit. I can do it without the audio because we don't really need to see the audio. Do you really guys need to hear the audio? No. And I think if we talk over it, we won't get clips because there's no audio. It's just a video.
I had to mute our when we were doing the Eric Breen stuff, I had to mute all the noise. Like that entire section should be silent now.
The only thing we showed tonight was Brokeback Ingleton.
That one, it's the James Bond one got hit.
We said you got pulled back into the closet again. We weren't sure.
What's up?
I don't know. It's so.
What do you need?
The other thing I want to talk about is with Velma and stuff is that apparently Velma has a panic attack. When you see her just freaking out, you see like a little fist pumping out. It's supposed to be her heart and stuff, and she's on the ground. Shaggy or guys Norville calls and talks to her and like tries to calm her down. Now everybody's comparing this to the new Puss in Boots movie, where he also has a panic attack, and you compare the way he reacts in that. It's less cartoonish, it's more realistic, and it's more humbling to me. Honestly, I've had panic attacks in my life, and I realize everyone's different. So it just what I've seen, the clip I've seen of Velma having the panic attack just didn't seem authentic to me. It just felt kind of like what you'd see in, what's it called, Harley Quinn animated series.
Mm-hmm.
It's I don't know, but then again, everybody's different. I don't identify with the way that they did that. I don't.
Well, the first 10 minutes of that movie or the TV show, Velma is incredibly unlikable. I mean, she is just, you just don't want to hang around with these characters.
Yeah,
like Gen Z, just like Gen Z. Yeah.
So the other thing let's talk about is apparently for there's some leaks out for the Gotham Knights, not Gotham Knights, but the
Suicide Squad killed the Justice League.
The Justice League. Now these are supposedly leaks as far as plots and post game. Let me share that out real quick. Get to that here, and it is. Now that being said, I still want to play the game. It's it could have been totally different from what they're saying it is in this thing, but maybe it's gonna be, it could be great. We don't know.
I'm looking forward to it.
All right, so
but then again, I need to get new gen.
Going off our prison I follow.
Okay.
So according to this is the leak for the plot. Here, let it pop up. It says Aquaman is in the game. He's in the tutorial and is killed off comedically by King Shark, with quips about how lame he is. Yes, you do the kill Justice League members, except for Diana and Barry, which are collectibles in the game, and are literally just bloody costumes, pieces, weapons, and other DC heroes and villains who are dead or fighting somewhere else. One collectible is the Riddler trophy, very early on in the game, like straight out of its mission. That plays like a pre-recorded message, making you think that you're going to have to collect the Riddler trophies again, only for the message to have the Riddler's hideout attacked by Brainiac drones, and it screams of pain and finally death. You fight Superman twice, once in the beginning of the game where he wipes the floor with you, and another where you distract him while Diana lands the hard hits. One mission has you find a kryptonite bullet in an LexCorp building full of survivors that basically are all Lex Dix riders. Oh, that's funny. Well, you'd have to be if you work for Lex Luthor, wouldn't you have to be Yes Man? Oh, he's going to kill you. And you have to shut down the defenses and lead the Brainiac drones to the buildings, slaughtering the survivors while you grab the bullets in the chaos. You find the bodies of Lex and Bloodsport. Now, this is okay. I'm tired of Lex Luthor being killed. He was killed in Titans in the first episode. I'm sorry to spoil everybody's going to watch that shitty show, but I'm saving you. Welver was great in that, and they killed him off stupidly. So anyway, so Bloodsport's in this, but he's dead. So basically you find out the Earth is doomed regardless, and Diana tells the squad about the Flashpoint Protocol.
Yeah, I was about to say, it sounds like there's going to be time travel somewhere in there.
Yeah, Diana basically, so now you have to capture Barry. Diana fucks off trying to basically distract Clark while the squad completes their mission. Eventually you find and fight Barry, knock him up, but they're ambushed and knocked out by Batman, who is trying to fight the mind control. Batman, mind control? Really? I don't know about that.
Well, considering that Martian Manhunter couldn't do it in the Justice League.
And in that Justice League Dark, what was it? Apocalypse? It turned out he wasn't under control. Or towards the end, he wasn't. Yeah, he's able to fight it off. Yeah, I don't know. It's weird. So anyway, Squad doesn't know that, however, to get a tip from Diana that Jimmy Olsen knows. And Squad goes into the Daily Planet, which is filled with survivors. But there's no Lois or Perry. they are basically missing action. Jimmy tells him that his sources tell him the Penguin has been finding this and stealing equipment for caches, blah, 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 and selling it on the black market. Of course he would do this. He's seen the No Man's Land. You think the Penguin's not going to take advantage of shit? That's one good plus. Jimmy just dies as Superman crashes into the building super fast. And all that's left is his lower torso. Wow. So if you love Jimmy Olsen, this is not the game for you, it sounds.
Well, once again, it sounds to me like all of this is going to be at the beginning. Remember the DC Universe game that came out a while ago, the online thing, and it just had all the bad guys getting killed. And when the bad guy, or when the good guy, or all the good guys anyway, and when all the good guys were dead, that's when Brainiac showed up. It sounds like they're kind of copying that.
Yeah, of course. Yes, when Diana comes in, takes the fight outside, and then she gets a hold of Clark, and Deadshot's supposed to shoot the kryptonite bullets, at Clark. But Diana at last minute deflects it with her bracelets, not wanting her friend to die. Really? And thinking she can save him. The rest of the fight is basically tiring out Superman while Diana punches and she talks to him. Eventually, the fight ends up back at the other planet and copies a scene from Man of Steel with Diana snapping Clark's neck before he can laser someone. This just sounds worse and worse. This just sounds like Injustice, but on crack. It sounds like James Gunn if he did Injustice. Doesn't it?
Yeah, like I said, it sounds like the DCU game all over again. Which, hey, look, I'm not going to put it down at this point because of this. I have liked every freaking superhero game these guys have done. So I'm giving the benefit of the doubt.
Sure.
Let's see how it goes. Once again, all right, we recognize that basically it's Fern Gully and Dances with Wolves, but let's not attack it. Just
I'm not going to go any further on this, but at least for the plot, you can look up Comic Lover Mary. She's on Twitter. She has the rest of it. Now, this apparently is she has the post game content leaks. This is now I don't know where she got this from. She doesn't say.
I'll be right back.
But this is supposedly a legend. Load. There you go. All right, so some post game would have been a new characters like Bloodsport and Peacemaker were almost ready to be done. Bloodsport's model was used in the game to get the kryptonite bullet. Other characters were harder to consider because the game is very loop heavy. They wanted every playable character to use guns, while characters like Bloodsport and Peacemaker obvious choices. Some like Enchantress would differ too much. Characters in the concept phase: Ratcatcher 2, Daughter of the Original, Manhunter, not the alien. I guess one of the Manhunters.
Manhunter is the villain from Leviathan.
Okay, because there was also a Manhunter girl too.
Yeah, it's an entire group. Like she's the third or the fourth one.
Okay,
so their son takes over after in the future.
So they could also get Green Arrow, be able to play a character. The expansion, however, the team didn't want Ollie to use a gun. Plus, they'd also want to design and balance entirely new set of weapons, bows that would only fit for one character. I wonder what the budget is on this. So then, basically, Ollie was then relegated as a supporting character for post-release expansion involving Waller sending a team to Star City to find out why it hadn't been hit as hard as the invasion as the other places. This was just a scrap, so Ollie was regulated basically to just reference small references in the final product. Their Flashpoint stuff is last-minute addition added with the game. Was removing the GAS features. I'm not sure what that means. Aside from the Justice League and Poison Ivy boss fight, there's only one side boss and more planned in post-game content. This boss is a parasite controlled by Brainiac. The fight takes place in an electric plant. You would have to give Parasite energy, making him stronger, but the implants controlling him would overload and eventually explode, killing him. He would get stronger.
GAS is Games as a Service. That is basically you have microtransactions.
All right. So then he would get stronger and stronger the closer you were to killing, eventually being able to one-to shot under leveled character, or I guess underleveled characters. Loved mean route type in this. Harley Quinn original costume is going to be a pre-order bonus. Yeah. Is there anything else? All right, Easter eggs, collectibles. Yeah.
Sorry, not yelling at you.
Oh.
Sorry.
I'm used to it. You're
chill.
mean.
You must chill.
So
Chill.
So Easter eggs are going to be at there's as I mentioned before, the Riddler trophy and the dented helmet of fate. Helmet of fate dented? Is that possible? I think Dalton's having a stroke somewhere hearing that.
I think so.
Yeah. In the center of Metropolis, you can see Ted Kord's crashed Blue Beetle ship. Scattered throughout the map are a couple of the Green Lantern rings that give backstory on the Brainiac. They belong to Kilowog. Guy Gardner, dead again. Thanks, guys, and Kyle. A skeleton with Constantine's trademark trench coat. Really? Now I'm just getting angry. He's killing my favorite characters off. An advertisement for the Oblivion Bar. An audio log that states that Zatanna and other magic users are taking survivors to the Tower of Fate. However, this works since Saint Fate is presumably dead. Yeah,
this is coming off like Injustice.
Yeah, Mr. Freeze.
They ended up in the house between dimensions and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Mr. Freeze suit with a skeleton in it, and Nora's skeleton embracing each other. Cosmic Staff, a letter to Boomer from the Rogues banning him from any future Rogues gatherings. In the Hall of Justice, a couple more Easter eggs. Brainiac drone eating Starro. Or at least one of the Starro's offspring, a distress signal with League member status on the screen. And I think that's about it. Oh, hold on. So basically what they're saying is that the Martian Manhunter is dead, the Hawks are off-world, Hal Jordan is MIA, various newspapers and news broadcasters say Coast City is completely destroyed, the only Justice League member not MIA, dead or off-world is Ollie, who you can hear is a message to the leagues that he's leading a resistance against Brainiac's forces in Star City and found something that's effective against their tech. Also, need not to know, despite going to Gotham is not an open world. It's 2 linear missions. When you finish them, you go back to Metropolis. So there you have it. It's co-op, but it's going to suck.
Why is it going to suck? You haven't even played it yet.
If they're going off of that, it does not sound appealing.
I don't know. I don't know. To me,
also the rumor says that the Flashpoint scenario retcons the events of Arkham, everything that's not Arkham Asylum. So it retcons City, it retcons Origins, and it retcons Night.
Yeah, you're a little fuzzy tonight.
Am I though? Yeah, I think I might be dropping out again. This kind of happened earlier.
Could be the green screen.
Hey.
The professor is taking back his pixels.
He's a piece of the pixel
snap. I see what you're saying. Hold on just a second.
It's the pixel snap.
That's not that's not a bad fix. That's not a hard fix. Okay, there we go. All right. That should take care of it.
Professor Pixel's gonna snap you out of existence.
Okay.
Pixel is back to me.
There we go. And there we are.
There we are. All right. So, yeah, I don't know. And that's another question. And this guy's saying, who are you going to play in this game? Because obviously Batman's dead in this, I thought, too. Or no, Bruce been mind-controlled. In this game, I guess you're playing as a Suicide Squad. Basically.
Yep.
Boomer, Harley Quinn.
Suicide Squad killed the Justice League.
Yeah.
King Shark or Race Swap, what's his face? Deadshot.
Yeah, so I don't know. It's interesting to play as those characters, but I'd rather play an open world where I'm playing as the villains with a group of friends and someone else is playing as the heroes. That's what I want. And then you have to plant bombs. It's kind of like
that'll be the downloadable content,
right? That's what I want. I mean, I want team based stuff. Make it where I have to do surgical strikes. I gotta rob this bank and then get out of there before the heroes stop us. Plant a bomb. Do what they do in games like Overwatch or Call of Duty, but using superheroes. I mean, if you want to,
know what they found out when they were talking about doing a Marvel game, you'll have 100 Wolverines running around, and that's what ends up happening with these things.
Yeah.
Nobody's gonna
want. You already have 10 Wolverines running around in Marvel.
So the other thing,
it's true.
The other thing rumors I've been hearing about is that they want to go away from Arkham Knights. They want to just to be done with Arkham, anything Arkham related content. Those games.
Yeah, fuck those games that put them on the map and made them incredibly successful. What are they?
Yeah. So why would you even? I don't know. It's and then they're talking about like you're saying like we're doing a reboot of Arkham City, but different.
No, look, this thing retcons what happens. Everything after the came out after Arkham Asylum, those get retconned.
Oh, is that what this game is flashpointing? Okay, I got it.
Yeah, the flashpoint, the ending flashpoint retcons all of those.
Oh, and I was hoping this was tied to it.
Well, here's the thing about that. I don't care much really about that because, in all honesty, I've got the games. You're not going to ruin the games for me. They're retconning it. Okay, well, have fun with that. I'm going to play the games. Now, granted, it might affect it in any kind of re-release, but if they're trying to get away from that, they're not going to do a re-release until they realize, hey, the games people want are the ones they had fun with a while back.
Yeah, so one thing this guy says, no team play because they think that DC fans have no friends.
Judging by how DC has done, yeah, okay.
Well, I say there's at least two groups of people. There's those Snyder fans and those who hate the Snyder fans.
I do hate the Snyder fans. I am not a fan of the. I didn't in the beginning, but then it's like, you know what? You're getting tiresome. Your story has grown tiresome.
I'm not against the Snyder movies.
Oh man,
I would keep the Snyder cast at least because everyone except Ezra Miller, who's apparently only going to get a slap on the wrist.
Yep. Don't confuse my. I don't have a problem with the Snyder fans. I have a problem these days with the Snyder fans, not with the movies so much.
Austin P, we're saving the Velma discussion just for you.
I thought we talked about the Velma.
I know.
Okay.
He was saying I missed the Velma discussion just as I planned. Yes.
Well, nothing changed. This sucks.
No, not really at all.
And once again, I only watched about 10 minutes of it. I'm going to record it, and then I'm gonna do a little watch and commentary and all that kind of stuff.
All right, so do you want me to go on to the Gotham Knights trailer?
Dude, it's your show.
All right. Well, I don't know, because sometimes you like to take over.
No, it's your show tonight. I'm actually setting up for recording here, so yeah.
All right. So with that being, Austin P, if you want to leave again and come back after this, it's only like a minute long.
Funny thing is, that's what Dalton just. I thought Dalton was going to record a video. He went live on the movie channel, so.
Yeah,
have at it. It's your show this time.
Speaking of which, those looking for the homegrown tourists, because he called it Disney something else, I couldn't freaking find it. So I posted
Disney Quest. Yeah, I
posted the link to it. It's in the description down below. If you're not subscribed to that, go check out that.
I'm gonna change it back.
Yeah. So all the current updated descriptions links are in the description below.
I don't like Disney so much anymore.
And if you want to help out the channel, there is the Ko-Fi link there. There's everything else in there you need to help the channel out. Even word of mouth, man, just sharing it out. Like right now we're live. Share out the stream.
Yeah, Sokka, my plan was to, I thought he was going to record, and then I was going to take his recording and I would edit out all the ands and ums. And much to his chagrin, the what are they called? Basically, sometimes Dalton will do this. He'll say, well, we went to the store and we bought 2 apples. And we ended up buying 2 apples at the store. And he'll do that, and it'll be one sentence. But that one sentence conveys the same information twice. So, I was going to do that, put up some movie preview, movie posters to make it pop a little bit more. No, he went live.
Yeah. Oh.
Well, I hope you enjoyed it, though.
I'm not going to share the audio for this, but there might be closed caption. Ooh, we'll see if that works.
And Ahsoka Asylum is not the third in the timeline; it's the second in the timeline. Unless you count that horrible 2D side scroller, which I'm not.
Oh, I want to point out right here this is supposed to be the Joker's daughter. She's being accused here of in the trailer here, being accused of basically killing the Joker.
That's not the Joker's daughter. That's Harper Row Bluebird.
Well, they dress her.
Harper Row.
They dress her as a Joker's daughter, though.
No, the Joker's daughter comes later. That character's also there. This is Harper Row. The one, this is Harper Row, the blue-haired chick from Punchline Comics.
All right, because I'm not on Harper Row anymore. I'm on the other one now. So anyway, it starts off with them. All of them are being interrogated. The first, one of them is announced as being with the Joker's daughter, basically killing Batman, which I believe is the first one actually. Even though it's called Harper Row. It is, and then we have, there you go. There's the Joker's daughter. Now I gotta say, for being
that one's the Joker's daughter.
All right, my bad. So I gotta say, if this was done right, I could see her putting on the mask, or the face paint on stuff, becoming a villain like we got in Duel of Dent. But anyway,
Duel of Dent.
Yeah. Which I don't know. I kind of want to see if they're gonna do it. If they're gonna give her the face paint or not. But I know this show's gonna be bad. Don't get me wrong about it. We're probably gonna review it on the Geeky Puppet Show. I'm gonna force Pixel to watch. So, yeah. So it's you're getting Castiel here. If you don't know what Castiel is, it's the guy. He's basically the guy from Supernatural, which I named Misha Collins. He's tasked with basically interviewing all of them, and basically want to know who killed Batman. It's didn't even care. He's also arrested. It's like, he's basically being accused of killing his dad because he wanted his dad's money. This show right there, I haven't showed you anything else. Do you really care about it? And it's the fact that this is actually getting still a release over other shows. I mean, Superman and Lois has proven it's been good. Flash is ending. They're going to bring Oliver Queen Megan for a last hurrah at the end of this. They're trying to boost the ratings for it. But after that, Flash is gone. You're just going to have Superman and Lois. Now, if he even gets another season, we don't know. They replaced Jonathan Kent on the actor on there because the other one stepped down. Like I said, it just seems really kind of dumb they even do this. All right. On you a little bit. Oh no, that's supposed to be Robin. This is Robin.
Is this supposed to be Kelly?
Yeah, that's Robin. She comes down and she says, I just watched the trailer. So yeah, she drops and she goes,
my gosh.
I'm Robin. Come with me if you want to live. She doesn't say to you.
Come with me if you want to live.
No. Right? We have to go. There you go, more clear. It's just the point where I just don't even care anymore. That's that's my question. Will Batwoman be better than this show?
Yeah, I'm not excited for this. I'm pretty good. You guys know I'm the easy guy. I'm the Paula Abdul of this particular group, and this does not have me excited. Now, if it turns out more Gotham than Batwoman, good job, guys. But it looks more Batwoman than Gotham.
Yeah.
Gotham was awesome, by the way.
Yeah.
Batman's orphan, but he doesn't look anything like Damian Wayne.
At least they got the car right for the Batmobile. The cave stuff. That's the one thing that they decided to do wrong. I guess actually, did they even have access to the cave in Gotham? Not Gotham, but Batwoman. I know they had a cave that basically connected to the Wayne Tower.
They did not have the actual Batcave.
No, they did not. He had one of his emergency things, and the car they had.
The only Batcave shown was when they butchered Kevin Conroy's Batman.
Yeah,
that scene was the only Batcave.
So I right now. So basically, if they show them driving the car, which they probably won't because it's too much money. We know that Batman's dead, but does anybody know who Batman is in this? I guess
Yeah,
at this point, apparently Batman's been unmasked.
Yeah,
If his son's being accused, which is even
he-
worse.
It was supposed to be them finding him dead with his costume on, his mask was torn like that in the first trailer, not this one.
Are they going against the Talon, like in the Court of Owls? What are they going after here? That's the villains in this. At this point, it's like, I'm just so confused. Who's the main villain in this? And why should I care? Because the trailer just makes it seem like, oh, this is a cosplay gone bad.
It seems as if this is going to be the mystery. Like, who is the villain?
Yeah.
I bet he Joker.
What was that? Was that the... I just saw that real quick. So that's supposed to be Catwoman or the mask? Oh, it's okay. This is the Batman mask with the batarangs. I like the guy. At least got the Nightwing kind of batarang, kind of like that. Actually, no, that's not the Batman batarang. That's a different one. So, I'm to the point where I just don't even care for these anymore. Really, Batwoman season 1 was actually legit. As bad as it was better than the second 2 seasons. The second season and the third season. I can say this honestly because I watched them. I had to review them, and they just got worse as they went on. So everybody's saying like, "Oh, I hate Ruby Rose." It got way worse. Ruby Rose was like propped up to being like a 5 out of 10 for the show, and then when it got down, went down to like a 3 season 2, and then it got down it's like a 2 out of 10 for me. It's got the point where it got so bad, and I like they had Batwing. Batwing was cool. They actually had Lucius Fox there. They showed a clip of him talking to Luke. He put his own AI. So basically, Luke Batwing had his own AI, but it was his father's AI. It was Lucius speaking to him, as an AI, helping him out. Like I said, wasn't the best show. Alice was probably the best part of that entire show. After they got rid of Ruby Rose, she carried it heavily, and then it just got worse. Like I said, I just couldn't. I watched it, man. I went from 1 beer and I started out to a pack by the time I was done. So I don't know. What are you gonna do? So that's it for that. But I don't know. Does anybody really care about this or anything that's coming out the CW? I mean, does anybody watch? I know I watched Superman and Lois. I know you watched. At least watched the first season, or
Oh, I watched.
It's funny because when we say Batman and Superman are night and day, Superman and Lois and then Batwoman and all that stuff, we're clearly night and day as far as quality. Good. Yeah, I hate the fact that people will quickly write a show off, though. Obviously, I'm going to give the show a chance, but it looks bad. That being said, I hope you guys do at least are curious enough to try it out. It's not going to hurt you. Well, maybe, and then if it does, I'm sorry. I'll provide you with information to go see a therapist if it hurts you that much. But I don't know. It's one of those things where I just don't understand where people are like. So people love to hate on Batwoman. They weren't even watching it. That's the thing that killed me. I was like, people are like, "Oh, it's still on."
Oh my gosh, yeah, that has become a pet peeve of mine. Watching reviews where they're so vague that you're like, okay, dude, you didn't see that shit, man. If I see one more critical drinker, I'm dropping it. It's just he does it almost damn near every time. I just watched his thing on Velma. Like, oh my, you didn't watch? I could tell he didn't watch it. It's like, oh, let me do this whole thing about memes and everything I read. Oh, shut the if you haven't.
Yeah.
Don't tell me what you think about other people's opinions. But that's just me. I don't know.
CW was already sold, but this show's still greenlit, still going. They're still releasing it, which really is weird for me because I was like, you'd think they would drop this. Now, as far as the Flash, we've been reviewing that for the past couple of years, for at least 2 years. We've been reviewing since season 7. Pixel and I have been reviewing the Flash. So the last episode of the last season was phenomenal. It was on season 2 level quality of Arrow. as far as for the last episode with Reverse Flash, man, dude. When that guy, I think it's Tom Cavanaugh. Is that his name?
Yep.
Yeah. When he basically becomes Reverse Flash and does the whole thing, it
you're
really
just
jumps it
spoiling
up.
the shit out of this. I want to so not be here right now.
Well, that's all I'm gonna say. As I saying, he made the show for the last season, last episode of the season.
Yeah, I haven't watched the last season
Go
yet.
watch that. Go watch that, and season 8 starts off good.
I'm gonna drop out just in case my activity is messing you guys up. They're saying it's buffering, so I'm gonna drop out and I'll chat with you guys later.
Later.
See you.
Later, E.
All right. Who's appropriating my culture? As far as buffering, my phone's acting just fine. So I don't know.
Which culture? You've been around so long, 1,000 of them have come and gone.
Breen, just jump in. We're going to start talking about comic books and all this stuff. Unless
jump in or don't jump in. Use the stair lift.
Wow. All right. Yeah, but Critical Drinker is least funny. I've never watched this guy. I've heard people talk about it. No diss to the guy. I just don't watch a lot of YouTube critics, you know. I do my stuff on here, you know, or on the other channel. And then I pretty much read comic books or I watch, you know, TV. And speaking of TV, I did watch The Last of Us. Not going to spoil anything about it. I will say for those who did watch or did play the games, it was respectful to the games. Pedro Pascal is in this is the main lead, which I don't care for the actor. He's all right. Oh, hello to Dalton. What's going on, man?
Hello. For those that don't know, I just finished my top 10 movies of the year.
We know. He said you in live. He told us. Hello?
So I saw the title. Are we still on the title topic, or have we moved down to other things?
We've moved kind of. I was gonna go talk about the Last of Us, but which I don't think you have any care for that. But if you have any thoughts quickly on Velma or Gotham Knights, or
there have been many iterations of Scooby-Doo. And up until this point, all of them were at least recognizable as versions of Scooby-Doo. All of them were fairly consistent with one another, despite the difference, obviously, in eras or in stylization and whatever. Velma is the first Scooby-Doo iteration since the 60s to miss every single coherent point about what the franchise is. Every single one. How it got a season 2, well, and I point this out because HBO Max belongs to Warner Brothers. How Velma gets a season 2, but Henry Cavill does not get a Man of Steel 2, will never cease to be a topic of conversation among artistic historians in the next generation.
That's why we're saying allegedly confirmed. But there's no really confirmation, but they're working on the season 2. Now, this my source that is coming from this is from CBR. I saw this.
I can believe it because normally when they commission shows, they commission 2 seasons rather than just 1. So I can believe it. It's still, they'd probably be better off not doing it though, because of the universal reaction to it, because I haven't seen a reaction this universally negative to anything social justice-y since Daniel Kibblesmith's New Warriors. The SJWs also hated that because they essentially thought that they were being that someone who was sincerely advocating for their shit was nevertheless mocking them by doing it. And I've seen many SJWs think the same thing about Velma, even though the person doing it was doing it entirely sincerely. They just refused to accept the logical conclusion of their beliefs, and they hate even SJWs hate seeing SJW logic taken to its fullest extent. Apparently.
All right, some of his comments. Let's see here. So before you stepped in, Eric Breen jumped on. He asked who's appropriate my culture. Younger Mobile Brain responded back, and older Eric Breen said, "And I'll be here longer after you're gone." Miranda says, "Eric and I are cultured like yogurt. Life cultures."
I literally just got done eating like 2 containers worth of yogurt. That's funny.
I just heard your so in the background. Must have been your mom or something. I don't know. Anyway, so all right. Velma makes Shaggy and Scooby Doo get a clue. Looks good.
Huh?
According to Ethereal Drake, saying that Velma makes Shaggy and Scooby Doo get a clue. Look good.
Yeah, it does. Honestly, for as gonzo as Shaggy and Scooby Doo get a clue was, it kind of fit the weird sort of quasi superhero action cartoon thing that that WB was going for, or the CW kids was going for when they made it. And yes, I too remember the gonzo weirdness that was Shaggy and Scooby Doo get a clue. It was basically the Scooby Doo franchise's answer to Lunatics Unleashed. And I actually kind of enjoyed it as a kid. So yeah, Shaggy and Scooby Doo get a clue is Shakespeare compared to Velma.
All right. Hello to I apologize if I mispronounce it. I think it's Nezrovla. Survivalist saying the newest rumor derived from a very likely real image as Shaggy date a black girl named Scooby. And like I said, I'm just going off that image. If that really is her, people have been talking about it on Twitter. I'm not watching this show. That being said, if someone really likes this, tell me what you like about it. It doesn't look. First of all, it looks too kid version for me, but also, I grew up on watching the Scooby Doo movies in the '90s, man, early 2000s. So
yeah, me too.
Cool.
Zombie Island, Witches Ghosts,
yep,
Cyber Chase, and Alien Invasion.
So those are my growing up watching those. Plus, I watch reruns of the original.
Yeah, I think everyone who likes Scooby Doo at least remembers growing up on reruns of the actual original Scooby Doo. Where Are You? I actually kind of remember binge watching like all the versions of Scooby Doo that I could get my hands on. Like I even watched What's New Scooby Doo when it came out in the early 2000s. But I agree with you. My sort of golden ratio for Scooby Doo is a mixture of the 90s Scooby Doo movies that tried to play it slightly more serious and adult. The prequel series, A Pup Named Scooby Doo, and the reruns of the original Scooby Doo, Where Are You?
And Raker is saying, I want these guys to do a James Cameron move and plan out 7 more seasons of Velma with the 2nd season.
Don't say that because I wanted James Cameron to fail at that, and apparently he didn't fail at that. So I don't want anyone else to do whatever like soul selling, goat sacrificing black magic that James Cameron did to make Avatar 2 also crack 2 billion.
I just want to say my quick take on the whole James Cameron thing, Avatar 2. We'll find out with the 3rd movie. If the 2nd one, it was just people just checking to see if it's going to be good or not. Who knows if they care after this one? A lot of people, it's like Captain Marvel. Everybody went and saw it. Doesn't mean they liked it, though. So,
yeah, right. I'm interested to see what's going to happen to the Marvels because I'm going to laugh hysterically if it performs kind of like the first Ant-Man did, just because no one actually likes Captain Marvel as a character. They only watched the first one because it was stuck between Infinity War and Endgame, and people felt like they had to.
Right. So we'll find out with that one. All right, and Rager says, not the break character from trolling, but I don't think it's a kid show now. I guess I can see your point there, but someone argue that it is still a kid show, despite being having some adult stuff. It's more like not a kid, it's more like a teenager show, where the original one was more of a kid show.
What show is that?
Well, Velma's now is more aimed for teens.
Yeah, they're trying, I think, to capture the same audience as Riverdale. Although, to be fair, of all the problems of Velma, I don't think that's the problem. I don't think trying to make a more adult version of Scooby-Doo is the problem, because as you and I both just alluded to, the 90s movies did that just fine. Like Zombie Island through Alien Invaders made Scooby-Doo more adult, and it worked just fine.
Yeah.
As did the made-for-TV live-action movies that had Robbie Arnell in them, managed to kind of do that same, like, what if Breakfast Club but Scooby-Doo characters instead thing that I think they were also going for with this. The problem is, as ever, they don't view these characters as entities in their own rights to be respected or even IPs to be continuous with. They view them as, how can we weaponize this IP? How can we use this art as a means to an end?
Yeah.
And again, even the SJWs looked at that and went, are you fucking insane?
Right. All right. Marani's saying, I wish people would stop strip mining in the past in terms of entertainment and making funhouse mirrors, distorted versions of properties that need to be left alone. See Ghostbusters 2016. Marania, that doesn't exist. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, see, the problem with that is good continuations, even now, are still more common than bad ones. Like we may have had to suffer through Ghostbusters 2016, but we did eventually get a Ghostbusters 3 in the form of Ghostbusters Afterlife. And I'm sorry, but Scooby-Doo has had consistent new versions ever since the 60s. So I think stopping making new versions that would be a mistake. This just happens to be definitively the worst version. And that title was previously held by the live action James Gunn movie where Scrappy became a weird god / like monster dog creature.
Yeah, he basically was a villain. Yeah. Yeah, as far as Ghostbusters Afterlife, I guess that's supposed to be Sony's third movie, or I guess they're
yeah, it's Ghostbusters 3. That's why I don't have a problem calling it Ghostbusters 3. It's a worthy.
For the real fans, Ghostbusters video game is number 3 because it has.
Yeah, I know the video games already established a Ghostbusters 3, but the canonicity of that was always up in the air, and I'm fine. Like Ghostbusters Afterlife is a worthy enough Ghostbusters sequel that I'm fine calling it Ghostbusters 3 for all intents and purposes. And the more we canonize the fact that Ghostbusters Afterlife is Ghostbusters 3, the more we can ignore Ghostbusters 2016 as the shitty social justice parody of Ghostbusters that it was.
So I'm willing to meet you halfway and say that Ghostbusters the video game was 2.5 or 2.5, like Lion King went. No. So because definitely I love that, and I love how they tied like the idea. For those who haven't read the idea of comic books, they took the first 2 movies, continued that from the in the comic book form, and then when the game came out, they adapted that and branched off of that and continued going. It sucks because IDW lost the rights to the IP. They could have continued after Afterlife and made a whole new branched off comic book form. Now, right now, there's no Ghostbuster comic books whatsoever unless you go being made. Which kind of
IDW is in trouble in general. Have you seen the report about how its stock has literally gone below $1? And IDW is in a death spiral. Apparently, they're thinking of selling the company off.
Gee, I wonder who killed that company and then left. Wasn't that Milkshake Girl?
Heather Antos?
Yes, didn't she get involved in that?
I think she did, but I don't think she got to touch much of it. She had one comic that unsurprisingly didn't sell, and I don't think they kept working with her after that.
Yeah. Yeah, I know she killed Valiant. I know that. Valiant was part of her she's like the way I think of Heather Antos is pretty much anybody who's watching My Hero Academia. She's Shikanara or what's the guy's name? The main villain. When he touches something, it decays. that's pretty much Heather right now. When she touches something, it just, I'm gonna make it better, and it just dies.
Well, I think that's all artists, quote unquote, who grow up with the modern art school mentality, the deconstructionalist, everything needs to be a means to an end mentality. Because if you go into an art space assuming that the art in question doesn't have any intrinsic value to it or any independence to it, you're going to ruin something. Because whether you like it or not, value exists, and it exists independently of subjectivity and human whims. And when you go into something that has value definitively, assuming it has no value, you're going to kill something that previously had value.
Yeah. And this guy is saying, yeah, you can't really blame her for the fall of IDW. It was already on free fall before that. All right. So hello to Helium. That's how you popped in. He's saying it's official. Mystery Inc. has gone into its new 52 with Velma.
Honestly,
I don't call it Velma. I just call it Mindy Lee.
Honestly, I think you're being a little bit insulting to the new 52 there. The new 52 may have been a clusterfuck sometime, but it was nowhere near this level of clusterfuck. I would argue that the show Mystery Incorporated, the one that set the gang in Crystal Cove rather than Coolsville, it was the new 52 of the Scooby-Doo franchise, and that was pretty freaking good even so. So, like, that's where I'm at. I'm at, like, Velma is the all new, all different variation on the Scooby-Doo, i.e., it's similar to all new, all different Marvel.
All new, all different was salvageable. It is what this is New Frontier of DC Scooby-Doo.
So, did you see the
not New Frontier, Infinite Frontier?
Dalton, did you see the IMDb score for the Velma show? It's really, really low. It's like 1.8 or 1.6, and then you look at Dragon Ball Evolution, it's at 2.6.
Yeah, we've come to the point where we're looking back at Dragon Ball Evolution and going, it wasn't so bad.
No, it wasn't. I mean, that Piccolo wasn't that bad.
I mean, at the very least, they still had, like, the pretense of the lore. Like, you still had Roshi, you still had the Mafuba, you still had presumably what would have been King Piccolo if we had gotten a sequel. There was still Goku having his Ozaru form. Like, there was at least an attempt to adapt something resembling the lore. It just kind of missed the point of the core of the franchise. But honestly, I never thought I'd get to this point. But compare Dragon Ball Evolution even to the Netflix Death Note adaptation. I will take Dragon Ball Evolution over the Netflix Death Note adaptation, for example. And again, compared to Velma, Dragon Ball Evolution is fucking Shakespeare.
So here's your two choices if you have to watch. There is no option to die or choose neither. The Legend of Korra or watch Velma.
Oh God, Legend of Korra is one of the patient zeros of the SJW mindset. Remember the Equalist storyline?
So I know, but I mean, as far as you can only choose one, you have to choose one over the other. You can't. Which one are you most likely to watch?
Velma or Legend of Korra?
Yeah.
I think we finally found the one where Velma wins. I would much rather Velma exist than Legend of Korra exist.
Christopher Burke saying Legend of Korra. Ahsoka saying Legend of Korra. Because Avatar: The Last Airbender set the bar so high, seeing it become the absolute farce that Korra was is actually pound for pound more insulting to me than Velma is. I'm gonna make that controversial claim. Yes, Velma is objectively worse quality-wise, but Korra had so much further to fall and made so many more obvious mistakes. MKF. Gotham Knights show. We're gonna be reviewing it for the channel, over on Geeky Puppet Show. I'll be drinking heavily. I'll be promoting my non-sponsor. I honestly, for that show, the only thing I look for the Gotham Knights, anything out of that, is the Joker's daughter. I want to see how she acts. She'll do all that. Will she put on the Joker paint? You know, will they have her dress up as Catwoman or whatever, like, or Catgirl, like she did in one of the Batman families? I don't know. It's gonna be bad. It's gonna be worse. Dear God, I'm gonna say that Batman season 2 and season 3 is gonna be better than Gotham Knights movie. That being said, I hate the Gotham Knights games. I mean, hopefully the TV series is better than that. All right. We are getting an Earthbender Avatar.
Honestly, speaking of controversial statements, personality-wise, based on Korra's personality and how the element system relates to personalities in the Avatar mythos, I think they should have skipped over a generation, and they should have made Korra an Earthbender, because she acts and behaves so much like an Earthbender that it never made sense to me that she was a Waterbender. Never.
Yeah.
Especially because apparently she went from mastering waterbending to mastering firebending, which we've already got established in the first series is not how the elements work. You always struggle with your opposite the most.
Yeah. Also, MK, knowing that Gotham Knights is on CW, they're gonna push it. It's probably gonna get another season. I mean, Batwoman almost got 3 seasons before I got 3 seasons. They was about to get a 4th one, and then CW canceled.
Venkman, you just reminded me of a thing, and now we both have to do a moment of silence. Because we live in the timeline of the DC universe where Constantine got one very short 13-episode season. Batwoman got 3 22-episode seasons.
Yes, I know.
This is where we find ourselves, ladies and gentlemen. Think about that implication.
I watched all
What's a Constantine?
Constantine? Sorry.
What is that?
Well, Constantine is someone who stays a teenager for the rest of his life.
No. Stop trolling. For one thing, given how magic works, he probably is happy to have people mispronounce his name, because that means they can't control him with magic, because pronouncing someone's name gives you power over them with magic.
It's like they got his nose, right?
I gotta ask Tehillim, are you talking about Titans, the HBO Max show? Because there's not in Titans, unless you're talking about Attack on Titans, which I've never seen, but I heard was pretty good until people complain about one of the main characters' boobs getting big. The final season, it's like Game of Thrones. The only thing I know about that is the water bottles in the Starbucks.
Christopher Barker, agree to disagree. If you saw my top 10 of the year list, you know Black Adam made it to my number 5.
Black Adam was actually a pretty decent movie compared to some of the other DC movies that came out.
Yeah, Black Adam was pretty good, and it gave us a good adaptation of Dr. Fate cinematically for the first time. And while I'm sad we won't get more of him, either in a prequel series or a prequel trilogy of movies, or in a sequel because he died.
Dude, I would have loved.
I'm still pleased with the version of Dr. Fate we got in Black Adam.
So Dalton, I would have loved to have that Dr. Fate appear in the Stargirl Jeff Johns show that was on. That would have been great. Having
I mean, either that, or they could have actually brought back the actor who played Kent in Smallville.
Yeah.
Because if I'm remembering Smallville correctly, Stargirl was a massive Dr. Fate fanboy, or fangirl rather.
I guess. Hold on. He's saying that Netflix has the Titan series. That's weird because it's HBO Max exclusive. Why would it be?
Yeah, that's well. Okay, are you from another country? Because sometimes they share outside the U.S. So.
Okay, yeah, to the UI, yeah.
Yeah, Tehillim is in Aussie land, isn't he?
He's somewhere down under.
So much like with everything else, the streaming rights are upside down in Aussie land.
As far as Titans go, I'd rather watch Doom Patrol. Doom Patrol had a good first season. Second season didn't care for as much. I'm watching some of the third season. I'm liking it so far. Titans. What do they get? It's very edgy, very anti-Batman. Oracle. The actress for Oracle is an Uber word I can't see on here, but I'll just say I'll be polite and say bitch because I can't say the other 4-letter word.
Yeah, the favorite swear word of the Australians. While we're at it.
Yeah. Yes. Nightwing. The guy who plays Nightwing. Brandon Thwaites. Good. Probably the standout character of that whole entire show. So if you want to see my thoughts and reviews on that, go check out the Geeky Puppet Show. We reviewed that. Or dive in blind. Just make sure you have something to drink while you're watching.
Yeah. I would have also preferred a Dr. Fate movie, Rhaegar, but then again, I've been saying that since before the Doctor Strange movie came out, so I'm biased. Dr. Fate is my favorite character in all of comics, and he's also a character who the writers can't write to save their lives in comics, unfortunately, post Day of Vengeance.
Yeah, but there are other 2 characters that are on Titans that are really good. Is the actors that play Hawk and Duff. They are phenomenal in that. Now, it's a different version from the comic books. These ones are actually lovers.
I liked their version of Superboy in Titans, and that was basically the only thing about Titans that I liked.
Season 2. Donna Troy is good too. This season's all about Tim and his boyfriend. The one that works at the what's it called? Star Labs. Yeah. Like I said, there's some good actors. But then there's a lot of trash there. Even the Jinx character from this last season was actually pretty decent, and she's, like I said, I thought it was really cool. You know, they actually introduced a character in there. She's only time I've seen her is from the Teen Titans cartoon.
You know what I think is funny about the Teen Titans as an IP? Gwen Arakami's Teen Titans from 2005 nailed the Teen Titans. And everyone who's done the Titans after the Glenn Arakami show has been trying to figure out how to replicate the success of the Teen Titans. And they kind of went in opposite directions. Like,
Young Justice.
You had the writers of Teen Titans go so far off into the goofiness direction and think to themselves, the goofiness was what people actually wanted, right? And then you had the HBO Max Titans go in the opposite direction and go, the edginess is what people liked, right? And meanwhile, we, the fans, are sitting in the middle going, no, put them together. The fact that they can be both silly and edgy is what makes Teen Titans awesome.
I also felt the Young Justice went off the rails. The first 2 seasons were all right. This season 3, season 4 got to the point where it's like, do you really care for the show anymore? I mean, for anybody who's watching, I'm Dalton. I know you probably haven't watched Young Justice, or if you have, I just got the point for me. I was like, you get rid of a main character off who's basically the heart of the team.
I watched Young Justice, but I always felt like it was an inferior version of the aforementioned Teen Titans.
Exactly.
And also the fact that they were definitely going the New 52 route, especially with Dr. Fate, pissed me off. Because as everyone knows, or everyone who's listened to me for more than 5 minutes about the topic of Dr. Fate knows, I hate the possession retcon. And Young Justice is what mainstreamed the possession retcon outside of the comics. So even though I like other aspects of Young Justice, and even though I like the idea of Zatara taking over as the Vessel after Kent, I still hate the way they handle Dr. Fate in Young Justice, because the fucking possession retcon needs to go away.
Yeah, it shouldn't have been Zatara. It should have been Jared Stephen, the best one.
No. Fuck off entirely. There are 4 semi-decent iterations of Dr. Fate. There is Kent Nelson, the original and best. There is his wife Enza, because she was Dr. Fate for a while. There is Hector Hall, who is the son of Carter Hall.
There's, like, the young Egyptian prince boy. No.
No. There's Hector Hall, who is the son of Carter Hall.
There's, like, the young Egyptian prince boy. No. There's, like, the young Egyptian prince boy. No. There's, like, the young Egyptian prince boy.
And there was, I believe their names were Sven and Linda Strauss, who were basically just a redux of Kent and Enza, but I'm including them on the list just because I don't recall them ever doing anything particularly egregious and wrong. But every other iteration of Dr. Fate, especially post Day of Vengeance, which is when they ramped up the possession bullshit, is terrible.
Yeah. I don't have an option to monetize this at all. I don't know if he did it or it automatically does it for him, but he dropped a lot of F-bombs. Apparently the new algorithm says like you cannot swear anymore. You can't use certain words on algorithm. Otherwise they didn't monetize you.
Fuck that noise.
Yeah, I know. We're already past 20 probably. Are you trying to spell Zatanna with a Z-A-T-A-N? I'm not, I guess, or is that a different character? Ahsoka. Kent Brockman. Why does it sound like it's from like the other show, Venture Brothers?
No, Kent Brockman is Anchorman, I think.
Oh,
or is it? No, the one from Futurama is Zap Brannigan. That was the other one I was thinking of. No, Kent Brockman is the anchor on The Simpsons. Duh. I'm an idiot.
Yeah, current shows right now are Titans supposed to be coming out with the season 5, which I don't understand why that's still going. Everything else that got scrapped on that. You have Doom Patrol, which I believe they're on season 3 or season 4. I forget because like I opted out for one of them. I'm behind. Man, I would have scrapped both those shows. I'm sorry if anybody loves Doom Patrol. I would have scrapped both those and just brought back Swamp Thing. That's what I would have done. You know, or intertwine them with Swamp Thing or something. I don't know. Swamp Thing was a good TV series. What a waste! We can't do a second season because we lost too much money on it. Blah blah blah. But there's actually a lot of people who love the show, and you would have made the money, but easily made it back with sales.
Which show?
Swamp Thing. Remember, it was on DC Universe.
Yeah, Swamp Thing deserves a continuation, and Matt Ryan's Constantine deserves.
They could have brought Matt Ryan's character into that season 2.
As well, they should have, because for those that don't know, Constantine was originally introduced in Alan Moore's run of Swamp Thing.
Yep.
Before getting written to perfection by Jamie Delano in his own series.
Alan Moore did Swamp Thing?
You didn't know Alan Moore did a run of Swamp Thing? Or I guess I should rephrase. Alan Moore did the definitive run of Swamp Thing.
And now Ram V did one too. They did for 2 seasons, I guess. Or 2. I call them freaking 2 volumes. I don't even call them freaking seasons. I hate that.
It's not seasons. It's the same one continued. Like, you got an extension.
Yeah.
Basically, it was supposed to be 10 issues. He got like 14 out. Or 16.
Right. All right. Whoa. In the sky. See you next Tuesday. To be tomorrow. So I guess you're leaving. Unless you're trying to be cute.
Yeah, Jim, that's why I included Hector in the list of good Dr. Fate versions. His was particularly interesting because by virtue of being a child of order and chaos, he could actually defy the Lords of Order and essentially act as a balancing force, which made him interesting.
The ads are worse
and
than...
then he posted that.
Yeah, that's the thing, too, is I back on the little YouTube subject bringing up, is like Mama Susan cares more about swearing than the naked adult content being shown or talked about on YouTube. The bots.
You can show an NC-17 movie, but don't you dare use any naughty words.
Right. Also, you told us to set our streams to 18 above, 18 plus content, content only. So if someone is clicking on that and it says, because I know when it says, like what video it says, this content is 18 above. Do you still wish to proceed? It asks, or sometimes I ask you to verify sometimes. So why the hell should I be watching what I'm saying, swearing and stuff like that? If it's marked 18 plus above, purposely.
Yeah, if the site itself is for people 18 and above, then people 18 and above don't give any craps about swearing. In fact, most people 18 and above will encourage swearing just out of like a sense of freedom and rebellion.
All right, so my last topic I want to talk about is basically was The Last of Us game, or I guess the new show,
TV show.
I watched the first episode, non spoiler. I'm just gonna say if you enjoy the first video game, it gives you a little more information, a little more almost like a prequel. It's not a prequel, but it's more information about his daughter. You get to see more her interaction with the neighbors. It's you get to learn more about the disease, the fungus disease. I'm not gonna say anything about Ellie because if you haven't played the game, it's kind of a huge spoiler. But basically, Pedro Pascal, who's a guy I just don't give a shit for. The actor, doing an okay job. He's and it's respectful to the game so far.
I've seen the entire series, or the entire first season rather, and I'm just gonna warn you, Venkman, it gets worse as it goes along.
My question is, how did you see it if it's only released one episode a week?
Isn't it on Netflix?
No.
Well, I've seen people's screeners, and I've also seen the other episodes on certain pirate sites, and from what I understand, both from other people's reviews and from the stuff I've seen on pirate sites, I actually forgot where I watched it for a second there. Sorry, spoilers. It gets worse as it goes along, and it's one of those definitely not actually made for the fans things, because it basically starts out semi-okay, as Venkman is describing, and takes a hard left turn into Halo adaptation levels of cringe.
All right. That being said, I've only seen the first episode being released on HBO Max and also released on pirate sites. So I'm not sure exactly where you watched this. So where you got the whole thing.
People who get early screeners will often, unfortunately for them, because that means they usually don't get screeners later. But people who get screeners for multiple episodes early, which most critics do, will often post however many episodes they get with the screeners on pirate sites.
All right. With that being said, though, I've only seen the first episode. I was not offended by it. It seemed faithful to the actual game so far. Now, with a grain of salt, because I know I played the second game and I saw what they did to one of the characters, and just the whole story mode was shit. Beautiful scenery though, and just like this, they show you the towns and all that stuff. It's beautiful. It's shot done pretty well for the background scenery. They even show you some of the creatures. It's gonna be like Walking Dead, kind of like that's what it looks like, Walking Dead level effects, a little bit. So I don't know. I have hope. So I know, Dalton. Obviously, you said you watched all of it or heard from the people who spoiled it for you.
Well, yeah, I've both watched spoiler reviews of it, and I've also seen clips of it, and the episodes that got released with screeners for critics, because some critics are sneaky and will post them on pirate sites.
Yeah.
And from what I've seen from the screeners, which, to be fair, I don't think actually was the full season. I think it was just the first 6 episodes. But regardless, from what I have seen, it's a all downhill in a very sort of confusing way. From the first episode on, and you can fact check me when you get legal access to the rest of the episodes.
Like I said, if it starts to get worse, I'm happy to talk to you about it. Maybe even next Monday. We can figure out what's right. Because I watched the first. It's dropping Sunday nights, one episode a week, which I prefer sometimes because I don't want to have like everything dropped at once. Because I'm the person, if you drop it, I'm consuming it because I don't have time to sit there throughout the rest of the week, and watch. I try to watch it when I have free time. That's why I watch all my stuff, TV where I can too. I'll spend a day just watching things, trying to catch up because I do reviews and everything else, and so my me time is for me. And like I said, I'm kind of glad this was one episode a week, so I can just plan more. Okay, I'm gonna watch this here, I'm gonna do this here, and I can do that. But Dominic, hello, Dominic. Are any podcasts that you listen to? That'd be a more adulting question because he sounds like he listens to more or watches more stuff than I do.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, my first instinct is to shell for my own because YouTuber's got a YouTuber, which I do have a podcast that I do with my friend, the Brainstormer of Pop Culture, and sometimes also Corrupt joins us, called the Podcast of the Storm, which we do every Sunday. So please do check that out. As far as podcasts I actually listen to, I really like the channel The Glitch Bottle Podcast, which is a podcast about like magic, occultism, and esotericism, which is a really good podcast. Also, Rune Soup is very much kind of in that same vein, and I regularly listen to segments from the podcast The Lotus Eaters. Although I don't know how much I can recommend them because they're intelligent enough that I feel like I should still have them in my news rotation, but at the same time, they go far more like tradcon and like authoritarian than I prefer. So while I listen to the podcast of the Lotus Eaters regularly, I'm not going to recommend it because if you're already a fan of the podcast of the Lotus Eaters, you don't need me to tell you what it is. And if you're not, I'm not comfortable with encouraging people to check them out.
Yeah.
So that's as far as I get as far as podcasts go, because normally by the time I watch podcast episodes, they've been released to YouTube because I don't have iTunes or Spotify. I just wait until the podcasts get uploaded to YouTube like proper videos.
Yeah. And this guy is saying apparently if the show is hated enough, it gets greenlit for another season. I think we don't matter anymore. They just put out what they want to put out, whether we like it or hate it.
Well, actually, no. You're being a little bit too neutral. They often will greenlight things just to spite the fans. Now, I mean, look at Velma.
Yes.
The absolute PR clusterfuck that was, and yet it's getting a season 2.
I guess, like I said, obviously despite us, but I mean, as far as that, I don't think that you're really after a while, like remember the whole thing as far as the ratings stuff. I don't think the ratings even matter anymore. I said they know what they're gonna do. They're gonna put these out, and whether you like it or not, they're still just gonna keep putting it out. They have their own thing that's planned to do. Obviously, these companies don't care if they make money on these things, or they already got paid because somebody else wanted the show done. So they're going to, like, I guess a lobbyist would say, someone who's lobbying for the show. I don't know.
Rhaegar, to be entirely fair to the Lotus Eaters, they don't always go full tradcon. I think the reason why they're going more and more tradcon is because they are kind of stuck in their own little echo chamber, and so they kind of just bat around each other's ideas back and forth. That being said, if you are someone who leans more tradcon, you'll probably enjoy them more than I do. I just find the conceit of fighting one kind of moralism, i.e. social justice, with tradcon family values never appealed to me. I operate on the principle of the correct answer to moralistic authoritarianism is mockery and irreverence and free thinking, rather than fighting it with an alternative kind of moralism. But that's just me.
Wow, Mary Sue apparently saying the Rick and Morty creator Justin Roiland accused of grooming as domestic violence charges surface. Really?
Yep. Honestly, I think this is probably going to blow over, just like when Dan Harmon had his meltdown circa around Rick and Morty season 3, and we all collectively cringed at it and then moved on. I think it's worth pointing out that as much as people being weird, especially artists being weird, might be annoying, to some degree it takes a kind of weird broken mind to be a good artist in some ways. So a certain level of degeneracy is kind of inevitable when you're talking about good artists.
Ooh, even Mary Sue is taking some swings at Velma. They
Yep, that's how we
wow.
yeah, the SJWs and us might not have anything else in common, but we can join hands and lock arms over a hatred of two things: Daniel Kibblesmith's run on the New Warriors for Marvel, and a hatred of Velma.
Because they did a Me Too joke. Wow. And there's the second episode. It's Velma. Yeah, it's just like I spit the truth out. Velma says to Daphne, says, "I spit the truth without a filter, like every comedian before me too." Wow. I mean, when you piss off the Mary Sue, you know you're very hardcore leaning.
When SJW content doesn't even get the Mary Sue's approval,
I know, right?
Someone done fucked up.
It's just funny because, like, not even a day later, they're like, Velma doesn't deserve criticism. You know, or they say it does deserve criticism, but not like this. This is horrible. Everybody's so mean to me. But then they go and say this about the whole thing. Like, oh, they shouldn't have said this. Cancel the show.
Yeah, no. Again, it happens very rarely, but every great now and again, a true believer SJW goes so far that even the other SJWs are like, we don't like the organic outcomes of our own beliefs. Wow. And honestly, that's good. I would rather deal with SJWs who at least have a breaking point where even they go, okay, my morality can't always be the center of the universe. Just like I don't have a problem with Christians who don't like PureFlix movies, because they can at least acknowledge, I might agree with this, but my morality doesn't always need to be the center of the goddamn universe, and it's not always a good thing for it to be so.
Wow. So CBR is really just pulling out putting all this articles out of their ass. Listen to this topic. Willow season 2 could see Ron Howard direct an episode. Whoopee! I don't care if he directs it whenever he doesn't.
Yeah, no, Willow was bad, and it shouldn't get a season 2. I guess that's the theme of this live stream. Things that shouldn't get a season 2 that are, and things that aren't getting a season 2 that should.
Disagree. I've watched Willow up to season 6. It's been okay. It's not Velma bad.
No, but very few things are, save once again the obligatory reference to Daniel Kibblesmith's New Warriors.
And they even had Val Kilmer's son reprise the role of Mad Mardigan. I'll just say we hear his voice. It's supposed to be because we don't see Val Kilmer whatsoever. Christian Slater made an appearance on the show, which was like surprised me because I was like, really? Christian Slater's in this?
Venkman, I think you might be talking about the wrong Willow.
I'm talking about Willow TV series.
Yeah, the Ron Howard thing was referring to Willow, the sequel TV show on Disney Plus to the movie. The one that's a continuation supposedly of the 80s movie.
It says Ron Howard. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
Willow didn't have 6 seasons, dude. Not even close. It's literally on its first season.
I didn't say 6 seasons. I said 6 episodes.
No, you said 6 seasons.
Did I say 6 seasons? Oh, my
bad.
Yeah, you said.
And I know I heard it because someone else in the chat was confused.
Okay, 6 episodes. So like I said, either way, like I said, it's not as bad as everybody makes it out to be. I checked it out because I wanted to see, because they had the rest of the cast there, and there was rumors that they're actually going to bring Val Kilmer, because Val Kilmer wanted to be in it, but because despite health reasons he couldn't. But there was also rumors saying that he might be in the next season. They might bring him actually in there. Now that he's doing a little better. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Austin. Thank you for verifying my confusion there.
My bad. It's late. I'm reading and also trying to talk at the same time. I can't do both. I can't multitask. All right. So I don't know. So anyway, so Ron Howard's supposed to direct. That's their new topic. They want him to direct an episode for season 2.
That
would
even inspire more faith in me if this was before Solo came out. I blame most of the flaws of Solo on Kathleen Kennedy, but at least some of them have to fall at the feet of Ron Howard rewriting the Phil Lord and Chris Miller version that probably would have been pretty good.
All right. As far as anything really news going on, I mean, I guess it's not really news anymore, but there's a new trailer out for apparently for The Mandalorian, 3rd season. At this point, the 2nd season was worse than the 1st season for me. I just don't think I'll continue with it. That being said, are you guys interested in seeing more of The Mandalorian, or are you guys just nope, done?
I mean, I'm annoyed at The Mandalorian for the Gina Carano fiasco.
Yeah.
But at the same time, The Mandalorian is like the only live-action Star Wars thing we have that's good right now, so... Strange bedfellows, I suppose.
Yeah. Ron is saying, when Mary Sue approves of the current Flash and disapproves of Velma, Dakota movie Venkman, cats and dogs living together, mass hysteria, whole underworld wrath shit.
Yeah. When people like us agree with the Mary Sue, we are approaching the approach of Gozer the Gozerian. It's possible.
Gozer worshiper. See, I study.
No.
Damned if you claim to be a god, damned if you don't.
Right.
I mean, to be fair, we don't know what would happen if they claimed to be a god, because they never, like, we haven't run that experiment. Maybe she would have buggered off, like, oh shit, this plane already has a god, I have to go away now.
Yeah. Broken clock can be right 2 times a day, says Rhaegar. Mandalorian was false advertising. I was so frustrated with both seasons. But,
I do think it was a mistake to let Grogu go back to Mando instead of training to be a Jedi, because if what we know about Yoda's species is to be believed, and also what we've already seen Grogu do, like, to not train one of Yoda's species as a Jedi is kind of a travesty against the Force.
Did they show his face though in season 2? Mando's, did they end up showing his face? I know he took the helmet off, but I think we also saw the back of his head. Or did we see it? I can't remember. It's been so long since I watched it. That was the one thing I give you Mandalorian over Halo TV series, is that he didn't take his helmet. If he took his helmet off, you didn't see his face. You didn't see.
He took his helmet off, and you could see Pedro on the final episode.
Yeah, Halo was like, I don't want to wear that armor 24/7. I'm just gonna wear it for like 2 episodes.
Judge Dredd with Sly Stallone.
Right? Yeah.
I can agree to that argument to some degree, Maranya, but we know definitively that Kathleen Kennedy meddled deliberately, specifically to give the feminist droid's rights droid a thing, which may very well have been the closest thing to her having a self-insert. So, and we know that outside of this one example, Phil Lord and Chris Miller can basically do no wrong. So I still maintain that Phil Lord and Chris Miller's version probably would have actually been worthwhile if it weren't for the twin machinations of Kathleen Kennedy and her weaponizing Ron Howard against her own franchise. And I don't even mind Ron Howard. I mean, he created the Jim Carrey Grinch, which was a huge part of my childhood. So he'll always have a soft spot for me. But like, I feel bad for him, because it's like no one could have made Kathleen Kennedy's insane demands work, and no one could have untold Phil Lord and Chris Miller's version and made it work. So he was kind of damned either way.
So the other we're going to ask that Taylor wants to know, basically, have you watched Sandman series, which I think you did with Pixel? You guys did a review on that, the Geek Puppet Show.
Yes, I did suffer through the Netflix adaptation of Neil Gaiman's Sandman that apparently has Neil Gaiman's blessing. But here's the thing, Neil, I don't fucking care. You are not the same Neil Gaiman who was young, hungry, and had everything to prove in the late 80s and 90s. You are a pompous, pseudo-intellectual git version of his younger self, who appears to want to meddle with everything that he used to do that was good and make it worse. So author or no freaking author, you don't get a vote, Neil.
So he's like Danny Elfman, hates his former career with Oingo Boingo, but then goes back to it because, I need money.
I mean to be fair, Danny Elfman still has talent to speak of, though. True. Because I mean he fixed Michael Giacchino's phoning in of the Doctor Strange theme pretty well. So no. I'm not gonna yell at Danny Elfman until he loses his talent. Then I'll yell at him.
Yes. All right. Any other TV series, movie questions for Dalton, Tilliam? That seems to be your go-to tonight.
Yeah, apparently Tilliam's job today is riling me up increasingly for the purposes, presumably, of entertaining the chat.
Well, this whole stream is just Dalton doing based takes. Who are you? What did you do to Dalton?
See, the thing is, Eglantine always cuts me off before I get to the based part of my take, because he wants to keep the stream flowing, and that's why I sometimes get rather angry with Eglantine, because normally my thoughts take the form of like multiple points for one subject matter, so I actually have to be allowed to finish a paragraph before I can actually reach the point.
Tell us what else you hate about Eglantine on his channel live while he's not here.
No, he knows. We've had this conversation many times. He knows that I sometimes get annoyed when he cuts me off too much.
Like I said, I'm kind of laid back. I'll address the chat, a little bit. I'll let you speak. Younger and Mobile Breen, do you have anything to complain about? Sports Ball or Coke Zero or anything else?
Sports Ball has always been a foreign language to me, and I stopped drinking soda when I was 15 because I got overly addicted to it.
I was addressing our friend right down there.
Oh, sorry.
Yes. Sports Ball is, I doubt anyone in the US would understand the plight of my sports ball team. And Greenwood, because we share owners with the Red Sox and we both hate the owners. Red Sox fans might. Damn you, FSG. Soda-wise, nothing to complain about. Don't buy in bulk. Some of them get stale.
All right. It's been a moment with younger Eric Breen. The one that hangs out in traffic, apparently. Actually, that's worse because he was hanging out in traffic when he's younger. Oh, he's playing in traffic when he's older. Watch out, Breen. All right. Anyone know any good Martin Luther King movies? Sorry about I know you asked that earlier. I forgot about that. We got sidetracked. Martin Luther King movies? I don't think I've really watched any Martin Luther King movies. Are there even? They have to be some. Dalton,
yeah, there are some, but I don't remember ever watching them either. I think I might have once in a history class, but I don't remember it.
Wasn't there a Malcolm X movie too?
There was.
Yeah. I think it was Denzel Washington, wasn't it?
Was it? That is a good question. I don't remember. I don't remember who was in it. I just remember watching TV one day and going, "Hey, they're making a Malcolm X movie."
Speaking of Martin Luther King, did you see that horrible looking statue they put up over in Boston?
The like bronze one.
The bronze one. It looks from different angles. Looks like a guy going on a girl or a person holding a giant phallic object. Could be a turd or
as I told Mr. E2099 when he alerted me to this on Twitter. I quoted one of Michael Myers' characters and said, "Modern art contains neither modernity nor art. Discuss."
It's just really weird. Like, you couldn't just put a statue of him and his wife hugging each other. Why did they have to do that? It's supposed to be an embrace. All right. But is it supposed to honor Martin Luther King or just anybody? Because I don't see the tying to Martin Luther King whatsoever. It's just a weird looking statue.
Yeah, the current BLM movement both tries to co-opt Martin Luther King and tacitly has to kind of quietly ignore Martin Luther King, because they all know that what Martin Luther King advocated for is worlds away from what they are advocating for.
Let's see if I can find. I don't know if I can I even show that on this channel without getting kicked off? Because it looks pretty, pretty phallic. Let me see if I can find it in here. Yeah, this looks so bad until I find it. All right. Here we go. I'll just share it. Google Images. I'm not gonna do anything else other than that because I don't want to click on NBC or anything like that or give them clicks. All right. And boom. So, as you can see, there's the one right here. Looks like he's holding a lady holding a giant, not that great. And it's supposed to be like
it literally looks like those sculptures of like giant balloon animals that I've seen.
Yeah. So that's supposed to be like that, hugging someone, but it just looks worse and worse as different angles in this. I don't know what they were thinking. I don't understand it.
Modern art is neither modern nor art. Discuss.
There's that, and then as you look at it, it looks like a giant schlong. Where did I see the other one? I just saw it.
Who does he say that to? Lori or one of his victims?
I mean, look at that. That just looks like someone's just going to town,
It's funny
I don't
to
understand.
Me that we've looked at it from like 4 different angles and none of them have looked good or even right, like something that would exist.
So the Smithsonian magazine, look at this. Somebody apparently is building a statue right there. Look at that. That is a statue. That other thing is a giant penis. Sorry. That's a giant penis. That is just gross.
Well, it doesn't look right no matter which perspective you're looking at it from. My question is, what perspective was the artist hoping to have it seen from, and would that make a difference?
Like, put a head on there. Obviously, this is supposed to have a head right here. It looked much better. Someone's holding a head, and they're holding something. From the other angle, it just looks bad.
Rhaegar, if we were to have a serious discussion about postmodernism, this stream would be another hour long, and it would just be me yelling repeatedly. Postmodernism is a trigger word for me to go on a lecture. You don't want that.
Can you imagine just coming on and saying like, "Yeah, I built that giant dog." It's just I don't know. I don't understand that. It's a crappy statue. This is a statue right here. You should have. It looks great. Martin Luther King. It's in Atlanta right now. And here's another one right here. It's just these are statues. The other thing is abstract or just weird art, I guess you call it abstract art.
Yeah, like even Salvador Dali is looking at that metal monstrosity and going, "How the fuck did you get there from there?"
It just looks worse and worse, I don't understand that. It is just disgusting, and they should never have even unveiled that. They never. I would have been like, "What the fuck is this?" Especially if you're a descendant of Martin Luther King. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm 90% sure this was deliberate because ever since Marcel Duchamp, the like highest art form that the quote unquote intellectual class have aspired to is basically what amounts to anti-art. And this is yet another example of if we make something as deliberately unobjectively valuable as possible, that will count as art because because we're being rebellious and don't want to conform to normal standards. Derp. That's sort of the logic.
It's a giant dong, or headless chickens, version. That's barely Tim was saying it's a headless chicken version. It's just it's is it being a complete insult to Dr. King on purpose? We don't know. We can assume. That's our opinions on that. Other people will be like, "Oh, there's nothing wrong with it," but then it's like when you start looking at the angles, then you're like, "Well, you guys just have dirty minds."
I don't know if they're trying to insult him on purpose. I think what they're trying to do is do this thing that modernist and postmodernist artists sometimes do, where they will abstract out an image so far that it no longer resembles the thing it's supposed to be resembling. I think that was more the thinking was, let's make a statue of MLK that is the most like abstract, surrealist, or post-surrealist thing we can manage. I think that's probably more the rationale.
I think like the coolest thing I've ever seen, or not really a statue, but it's similar to that, is that thing they have in Chicago. That silver, whatever roundish thing they have there. I forget what it's called, but it's like it's not offensive. It's kind of cool, and it's there. I'm not sure what it's supposed to represent, but yeah, I've seen other stuff. Like I've seen like weird looking art. People are like, let's put this in front of the courthouse. We have because Milwaukee has one. It's like a spiral. It looks like a snow cone.
or have you seen the like blank canvas with a dot in the middle that people are just supposed to stare at until it looks like something?
What was it? I forgot what show I was watching or something. No, that's what it was. Somebody nailed a banana to the wall and said this.
Oh, the banana piece, yeah. and lest we forget that the grandfather of all this horseshit, Marcel Duchamp, literally took he took a urinal from a public bathroom, turned it upside down, and presented it as an art piece.
Raker says we have a lot of that trash art here, trash can art here in Washington State. It's a complete eyesore. I'm sure it's better than some of the people that live in there. Better look at them than look at those people, because I guess you got a lot of weirdos there too. But then again, it's for Martin Luther King though. That statue is just get rid of it. Get it out. It's not good. Take it down. I'll put a normal statue up, and that's it. And be like, cool. There you go. No, but if you want to have people hugging each other, have someone hugging hugging them or holding them. But
yeah,
just have the heads. Put the heads on them.
Ironically, I'm going to turn postmodern standards on themselves and point out that in postmodern logic, the use of quote negative space unquote is supposedly a good thing, and I point this out because literally an empty space is more artistically valid than whatever the fuck that is supposed to be. So, yo, postmodern art school intellectuals, make use of negative space and get rid of the fucking thing.
All right. I don't think there's any other news as far as stuff, as far as anything else coming out. I knew that for fans of anime, My Hero Academia was I don't know if the last episode is aired or what, but they have 12 episodes out now. It's been enjoying it. It's been a fun series. The anime apparently isn't caught up to the manga. The manga's like there's any manga adaptation. The manga is usually way ahead unless it's been finished and the anime is catching up. But honestly, okay. So Ronnie is asking as far as the artist of that piece. I don't know. Does it really matter?
I imagine they were black because I doubt, with the progressive stack, what it is, I doubt that they would let someone who wasn't black manage a.
No. You gotta remember, there are white saviors. People come there who basically.
Well, yes, but they don't admit to that. Is the thing. Just like with the most recent Golden Globes host, they will literally hire a black person specifically so they can be white saviors without being white saviors. So I imagine that the person who made it is one of those hipstery, effeminate black art school grads that don't really get much approval in the actual black community, but are absolutely adored by the establishment. Because I doubt they would let someone who wasn't black make that.
Apparently, the Sandman Star addressed why Netflix won't call the new episode season 2. It's gone on record calling it a season 2, and has not gone on record because season 2 purposely says Park. I guess his last name is Mason, Desire actor Mason Alexander Park. Yeah. So I from now on in the future, possibly until the end of the universe, not refer to as season 2 until we know what it is.
I
There's
didn't.
more, yeah.
I actually, to be fair, didn't hate Mason Alexander Park's portrayal of Desire, and I was impressed that they let a non-binary actor play a actual villain without needing to make them not a villain. Because Desire has always been the villain of or at least Desire has always been the closest thing to a villain that the Sandman mythos has. So I was impressed that they let Mason Alexander Park actually play the character as they are supposed to be played.
Yeah, I want to say
they did a good job.
My main gripe with that is the whole Joanna Constantine being set in modern time. So where the fuck is John going to come in?
Not. And the reason doesn't even have anything to do with the normal virtue signaling logic.
John doesn't be in the show. I'm just saying it just. But we know that she's 1800s.
Yeah, Joanna was his ancestor, and now they're on both ends of the timeline.
I don't know if she's even an ancestor anymore at this point. I think they just gender swapped.
Yeah, but my point, or the thing I was going to allude to, is if you actually look into the reason why they gender swapped John in the modern one, it's because J.J. Abrams' company, Bad Robot, was working on a Constantine show for DC where Constantine would be black. And no, I don't under normal circumstances, race is absolutely immaterial to me. But I think it was done out of deliberate. We're trying to be wacky and atypical and also get virtue points. So that does annoy me, especially because as long as Matt Ryan lives and breathes, there is no need to cast anyone else as Constantine. None whatsoever.
I hate the fact that Pixar's like, I didn't like the fact, they do that, but he's like, Jenna Coleman's hot, so I'll watch the show. I was like, really? That was his number one reason for watching the show, because Jenna Coleman's hot in this. Because she's a Doctor Who companion.
Okay, but the problem is most of the Doctor Who fan base, myself included, really didn't have very nice opinions of Clara.
I like
Clara. A lot of us really disliked Clara and thought that 11 should have regenerated as soon as the Pawns left, and it should have been 12 and Clara all along, because 12 and Clara got along a lot better than 11 and Clara did.
Yeah. All right. What's going on in the chat right here? I still want to redo Healer Season 2. Not sure what Healer is. I've never heard of that. Vinland Saga is good to watch. I think that's anime. Not sure. I've never heard of it. Also, you might want to refresh, then reset the Chivlat. Oh, yes. Bad Robot, the place where franchises go to die.
Yep.
What did Bad Robot do? Lost?
Bad Robot did the Star Trek alternate universe movies. They did, or at least J.J. Abrams was involved with Force Awakens and Rise of Skywalker. And they were planning on. I think Bad Robot also did a bunch of bad horror remakes, if I'm remembering correctly.
To heal him, you should, if you get a chance, it might be on YouTube only. There was a Mortal Kombat web series. It was actually pretty cool for a while. Christina Loken was in it. check out that. It's 90s cringe though, but if you can stand shows like Beastmaster or some of those other ones like the Conan series they had in the 90s, you might like it. All right. So, and he says he's been checking out the Tekken Bloodline series. These must be animes because I don't think there's even Tekken.
Yeah, Tekken Bloodlines is an anime, and so is Redo of Healer.
All right. So, with that being said,
I'm hoping for Magi the Legend of Sinbad to have a second part, so we can at least get to the end of Sinbad 7 Jin.
Mm-hmm.
He only has 3 as of right now at the point at which the spinoff is finished.
All right. So, with that being said, we've been going live for 2 hours. If you haven't already done so, please click like, subscribe. Even drop $1 in the Ko-Fi bin. Help Engleteen with his cocaine fund. And
go over and watch my top 10 movies of 2022 over on I Love Movies, so that it gets enough views for Engleteen to let me continue making my own content over there.
Yes, I love movies, right, to check that out. And then check out the Geeky Puppet Show as well if you can. Tomorrow night, Zach and I will be going live on there at 8 p.m. Central. Talking about the new books come out this week. And then just stop back on Thursday to check us out as we basically talk about the books we bought and see if our top 5 from Tuesday is still the same 5 books that we love for the week.
And later tonight, don't you have Ash?
Nope, there is no Ash tonight. There is no Ash on Comic Stream tonight. It's been postponed to next Monday. So that being said, I hope you guys had fun tonight. If you have any comments or concerns or complaints, leave them down in the comment section. Let us know how much you hate Velma or how much you hate Gotham Knights or any of that stuff. Or if you love
or how much you hate me ranting. That's possibly also a thing.
True. Also, leave down a comment down below. Do you prefer Dalton being able to talk more, or do you prefer Engleteen when he cuts him off?
Should Dalton be allowed to finish the thoughts he thinks, or should Engleteen stop that?
Yes.
Let us create a poll right now.
I can't create a poll. I don't have that option. I'm not the channel owner. But yes, as Marani, thank you for reminding me. Wednesday night is the 4-Color Fossils over on Graphic Man. Check out Breen and his fellow retirement home retirees. Companions as they show up books that were made before we were all born. The Smithsonian group, yes.
Should Dalton talk? Press 1 for yes, press 0 for no.
Tilliam, go over to my top 10 movies of the year if you want to hear me ranting. I ranted about several things that annoy me about Hollywood in general and how the best movies were the outliers for like 45 minutes.
All right. Well, that being said, I hope you guys had fun. We'll see ya. Well, when we see ya. Thank you, guys. Have a good night, guys.
And to all the true believers, have a zippity-doo-dah day.
Wrong channel. That's the Disney sign off.
Stay extreme.
Cheers, guys.